What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Liv Morgan seduces Dominik, an update on Dominik's injury, a major match taking place at Clash at the Castle, he receiving stem cell treatment, AEW confirms 4 talent departures, 3 superstars officially gone from WWE, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. As always, we won't recap the show, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as, number 1, it doesn't get any better. The Gable Alpha Academy Sami Zayn storyline is the best in the WWE, an example of how a compelling story can elevate undercard wrestlers who have the potential to break out of the mid-card. Bookers can learn a lot from how this played out so far, including the use of everyone involved, whether it's background players like Akira Tozawa or wrestlers who have been neglected such as Otis and Gable, and throwbacks to past storylines of Sami sharing how he was treated badly in the bloodline with Alpha Academy. Number 2, Liv seduces Dominik. And Liv Morgan turned up the heat on Dominik Mysterio, and it looks like Mysterio's resistance is crumbling, as well as his self-preservation instincts, because once Rhea finds out what happened, Dirty Dom is in for a beating. While the WWE seems to have forgotten the many online clues that something has been going on behind the scenes, there's no faulting Liv's work as a temptress. Number 3, Judgment Day take out Braun. Last night, Braun Strowman learned that even monsters can't beat the numbers game, especially when it involves the Judgment Day. Number 4, another strong main event. Wrestling fans can expect something big in the main event, and it doesn't get any bigger than a match between a world champion and a WWE Hall of Famer. Priest vs Mysterio was a strong main event that also established Drew McIntyre will have to fight the Judgment Day and Damian Priest when he challenges Priest at Clash at the Castle. Number 5, a well-oiled show. Is 3 hours too much for wrestling for a weekly TV show? Well, not if the show is actually booked like last night's Raw, which started off strong and took fans on a wild ride with occasional stops backstage, or in other segments that forwarded storylines and kept fans entertained all the while. Now, we criticized Triple H for lousy time management skills, but that wasn't the case last night as the show was a grand slam. Number 6, more love for the women's division. There was plenty of love for WWE's women's division, whether it was Io Sky looking for revenge on Lyra Valkyria for daring to beat her in the Queen of the Ring, or various teams scrambling for a women's tag team championship. The WWE is consistently pushing its women's division, and this is great news for fans, especially if the rumors of a secondary women's title pans out. And Monday's match of the night, Finn Balor vs Dragon Lee. A Raw featured some fantastic bouts, but Finn Balor vs Dragon Lee stole the show. While it may be a stretch to say Dragon Lee is a generational talent, he could become a major player in the WWE. Booking him against Finn Balor was smart, as Balor only added to the match. But that was a good. What about the bad? Is number 1, Alba Fire and Illa Dawn headed for a title shot? Are Fire and Dawn headed for the Women's Tag Team Championship at Clash at the Castle, Scotland? If so, it kinda seems like a bit of a cheap booking ploy, almost similar to Piper Niven getting a WWE Women's Championship match for no other reason than getting a match in a hometown crowd. Whilst that might be different in some aspects, it is smart to cater to a hometown crowd, but there are better ways than doing this than putting a glorified mid-carders into title matches, especially since there's little chance of them winning. There was nothing downright ugly, a solid Raw from start to finish. If the WWE can keep producing content like this, the universe is in for a wild summer. What'd you guys think of the Red Brand last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at a Dominik Mysterio update. Atop of today's news is a report concerning Dominik Mysterio's injury status, as although Dirty Dom has been a featured player on Raw, and why wouldn't he be, he's one of WWE's hottest heels, he hasn't been able to wrestle for several weeks since injuring one of his elbows. However, Dom took a bump on last week's Raw, which led to speculation about his status. Meltzer noted on the Wrestling Observer Radio that he's cleared to do physicality. Dominik's ability to play a significant role in advancing storylines without stepping into the ring is a testament to his stand-up work as a heel. Next up, a major match in the works for Clash at the Castle. Is the WWE ready to announce another major match for Clash at the Castle, Scotland? The WWE opened the door for an undisputed WWE Championship match on last Friday's SmackDown after AJ Styles delivered a vicious beatdown on Cody Rhodes, and now Meltzer is reporting that Cody vs AJ 2 will take place at Clash at the Castle. So that's going to be on the pay-per-view, Clash at the Castle, which I presume that they'll announce on Friday. I mean, you could see the angle. I wasn't sure which pay-per-view it would be on because they might have held it off for the Toronto show because Toronto needs a big match, but I was told it's going to be on this one coming up. There's no word on whether there'll be any stipulation added to the match. Next up, Biggie receiving stem cell treatment. Could stem cell therapy heal Biggie enough so that the injured superstar can return to the ring? While it currently appears that Biggie may never wrestle again after Ridge Holland accidentally broke Biggie's neck during a match, the beloved New Day strongman posted a photo on Instagram of him receiving stem cell treatment. MVP, who is receiving the same treatment, shared a photo of himself and the big man via Instagram, along with a message, "Here in Cancun at RejuveStem with one of my favorite people, Biggie, getting rejuvenated." While the benefits of stem cell therapy for injuries remain hotly debated, Biggie and MVP seem willing to give it a go. We send our well wishes to both men that the treatment works. Next up is Chad Gable working with the Creed brothers. As Chad Gable Alpha Academy Sami Zayn saga continues to build, it appears that there could be 2 new players involved. Observant fans noted that Gable was once again seen in the background during a backstage segment chatting with the Creed brothers. Is Master Gable looking for replacements for Akira Tozawa, Maxine Dupree and Otis if they continue to disappoint him? Given the WWE's continued use of Easter eggs like this to foreshadow events, it seems extremely likely. Next up, did Dominik break character? Did Dom break character during one of his segments with Liv Morgan? Some fans seem to think so, as X's Humble Wrestling tweeted, "I feel like Dominik breaking there wasn't supposed to happen." Liv was in full vixen mode where she began rubbing Daddy Dom's long flowing locks, leading to a moment where Dominik seemed ready to start laughing. Some fans suggested that Morgan may have improvised there, but whatever the case, the smiles the two exchanged suggests they broke character, even if it was just for a moment. Next up, Pat McAfee gives 0 shit. I leave it at Pat McAfee to double down on a controversial remark that got him in hot water by using a similar line on Raw. In case you missed it, McAfee found himself under fire on Monday after using the term "one white bitch" when discussing WNBA superstar Caitlin Clark. While we don't have time to explain the context of his comments, it doesn't appear that he used them disrespectfully. Nonetheless, McAfee apologized for the remark, tweeting, "I shouldn't have used white bitch as a descriptor of Caitlin Clark. No matter the context, even if we're talking about race being a reason for some of the stuff happening, I have way too much respect for her and women to put that into the universe. My intentions when saying it were complimentary, just like the entire segment, but a lot of folks are saying that it certainly wasn't at all. That's 100% on me, and for that I apologize. I've sent an apology to Caitlin as well. Everything else I said, still all facts." But despite the controversy, McAfee raised some eyebrows when he referred to Braun Strowman on Raw as one big white son of a bitch. It's clear that Pat McAfee is willing to speak his mind and that he's never afraid to feed off the controversy. Next up, AEW confirms 4 talent departures. Now it's official, AEW has confirmed the departure of 4 talents by removing them from their roster. WrestleTalk recently tweeted, "Removed from the AEW roster page today, Jake Hager from the men's roster, Paige Van Zant from the women's roster, Mark Henry from the broadcast team, Arn Anderson from the coaches section." Do you think AEW will suffer from the loss of these talents? Do you think any of them could end up in WWE? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, 3 WWE superstars officially gone. AEW isn't the only promotion to acknowledge some departures, as 3 wrestlers have now been taken off WWE's active roster list. Wrestling News is reporting on the exits of Scripps, Drew Gulak, and Boa. Ravens noted that although WWE no longer announces the releases on its website like in years past, some confirmed the departures on social media. And finally, Liv Morgan's cyberstalking Dominik. Last but not least, the WWE is taking advantage of its superstar social media to forward a storyline again, this time with the Liv Morgan-Dominik Mysterio romance. Daddy Dom recently shared a video on Instagram showing Liv Morgan blowing up his social media with like after like. Mysterio posted, "Really? You gotta hand it to Liv, spending 2 hours liking Instagram reels. It's pretty insane." But there you have it folks, our look at Raw this week, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.